Peaks. Okay. Oh my god, I'm in charge now.
Oh, you're doing everything.
I think I'm everything. I think it's this one.
Yeah. There you go.
I can't do shit, but I know I want to. Maybe if we talk about it, I'll find shit to do. I got a brain somewhere and you got one too. Da-ba-da-da, something to be fucking do.
All right.
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
You're right.
Yeah. Doing brilliant.
Oh, I clicked away.
Oh.
And it
There's
ended
no
suddenly.
fade out anymore.
Oh, no.
Oh. And now I can't even dub over it because we talked about it.
Ah! So, yeah, we made an executive decision because we couldn't be asked to find the iPad that I deal with the intro.
Yeah.
And it's gone brilliantly.
We're not doing it again.
Never again. Yeah. Well, you know, it's got to start somewhere. At least you're more animated than you were last episode.
Yeah.
There's there's a high suspense of drama throughout.
Yeah. Slight technical difficulties.
Yeah.
But,
yeah,
but
there was like some, and then it was like, oh,
I usually do the cameras, but Susan set them up.
Susan!
But she fixed it.
Seriously, you need to get your fucking shit together, okay? Susan, it's like, we'll edit it out, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, how was your... When? 2 days
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, we're proper close to last episode.
Yeah.
In our lives, not in the released lives.
Yeah.
So,
No,
how's
no
your
one
2
else will
days
notice. Yeah. No, my 2 days have been terrific.
Oh, yeah.
Every day melts into the same day.
It's great.
Yeah.
More free time. You know?
To be honest, it's been good. I've been scheduling myself and my time and being a responsible adult.
Is that why you threw the iPad away?
Yeah.
You got tired of it telling you what to do?
Yeah, don't need that shit anymore. I'm my own timekeeper.
Yeah.
And living my life as though I'm working for myself, and eventually it'll just happen.
If we build it, they will come.
Well,
in terms of everything, just
yeah, that kind of thing.
yeah,
Right, because the stuff that I want to do, I started building it a long time ago,
Mm.
and then just stopped.
yeah,
So it's just been kind of picking up the pieces again and getting back to it.
yeah,
But-
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's going well. I like the feel of like working for myself. I like it more when there's money involved.
yeah. I like doing things.
Yeah,
Be nice when it's
Yeah.
for real.
yeah.
Yeah,
But like the
professional
work
kind
that I'm doing is the same as the work I would be doing. It's just
Yeah.
it's kind of rehashes of stuff that
Just
I've
more
already
people.
filmed.
So for people who don't know, that's like stalking people's weddings, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Just filming them from afar
Yeah.
and then blackmailing them.
Yeah. Well, one of the selling points is that if you know that I'm there, then I've not really done my job.
But were you talking about christenings at one point?
Just like trying to kind of
does
just.
it have to be happy occasions? Does nobody like vodcast a funeral anymore?
I mean,
Anymore.
Anymore.
They did
Yeah,
in the
there was a
1500s.
trend for it. Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't think people like to remember that kind of shit.
Losers.
But to be fair, I'm not even sure that anything outside of weddings is really a thing over here. Like I think that's very much like an American thing.
Maybe.
Like if you're a videographer
But
in
I think-
America and you starting out, you video people's bar mitzvahs.
Yeah.
She's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Yeah, I had a mate who had his
film
his 18th was filmed.
Huh?
My mate's 18th birthday was filmed.
Right.
Had like the two Moroccan guys just with like a massive VHS camera following people around. So this is odd,
Yeah.
but people do it, I guess. But I don't like saying nice things to you. But I think if someone was planning a wedding and they saw your video, they might look into having it done by you.
That's potentially the most complimentary thing you've said about anything that I do.
It's about anything in general. I realised the other day because we'll get back to it.
All right.
But I've been thinking about trying to do other stuff because
Sorry, I was watching Twin Peaks.
That was the test article, the test footage.
Yeah.
Let's see if stuff was working. No, yeah, I've just to reiterate once more, the reason we started the podcast was to motivate and do more creative stuff. And this new phase of doing it, like adding a bit more professionalism to it and trying to do it a little bit more, has kind of scratched that itch a little bit more. So it's like, oh yeah, we can go and do loads of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not married, but like, and I don't mean that as a negative.
No,
It just means that like nobody cares when I'm not there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was tempted to go out and do some like in the world stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'd like to get live reports, like, for people, like, to our man in the field, and you cut to me, and it's just me in asking people questions.
Yeah.
In the city centre. But
Yeah.
the thing is, I realise, I might be wrong, but I think I've come across quite nice in the videos so far. Quite gentle, quite understanding. And quite like whenever it's been like, oh, you know, why are they thinking this? I'm like, oh, you know, they're just people. People are just people. But that's me sat indoors, you know, having a conversation with you where I don't need to prove to you that the world's a horrible place.
Yeah. I really don't think you like people that much.
No, and if I'm out in public, I'm I'm not aggressive. I'm more energetic. I'll put it that way. And I'm more loud.
Yeah.
And I'm not sat here being like, oh, everything's fine. Like, I think it'll be it's going to be a different turn. And it's a character. That's what it is. Yeah. When you go to someone in the field, that's a man and partridge or whatever. That's what that is.
Right.
So I'm interested to play around with it because I'll find fun with it anyway. But I think it's not going to work with this podcast. Or it's just going to be like, how much split personality does this guy have?
Yeah, well, I think if the idea is to bring people on board and be like, hey, why don't you come and have a listen to what we're doing, and you're just yelling at people in the street,
Yeah.
while trying to encourage them to be involved.
Yeah, I was thinking about like just for a laugh, just like I still don't quite understand social media in any way really. So it's like, oh, go out on the streets and you know just talk to people and try and see if they want to listen to the podcast. But it'd be a fun way to get to know people. Do it around certain events, like if you did it at a podcast convention, for example.
Yeah,
seems like it could be quite nice. But I think I'd be like we were talking about going to Comic-Con at one point.
Yeah,
like thinking about it, that could be fun. But there's like, well, the original Super Mario is going to be there. How am I not going to say anything? You know, something stupid will come up in my brain, and I'll find it funny, funny, and it'll be like, did your parents forget to get you a dead teenager for Christmas?
Yeah,
and then it'll be like, you need to go over there for a while.
Yeah, and then all the other people that were going to talk to you just
slowly
wander off.
Away. But yeah, it could be. I think it could be fun. So, but yeah, I'm just I was watching you be like, oh yeah, that's definitely a side of my personality, but that's not the side of my personality I think of when I think of me.
Yeah. No.
So we'll see. We'll play around with some ideas.
That's the A side. It's the B side that people haven't seen.
It's the B side that you got imprisoned for. But yeah, that could be quite fun, and yeah, that links to your weddings. Yes, right. Because if you're looking for video work, I know a news reporter, me, who might need some evidence and some kind of alibis as to why he was screaming in the street.
Right.
Because what did I get? I got thrown out. Yeah, I got fired from a job that sold oxygen for screaming. And if I could have filmed that would have been brilliant. That would have been like, I'd like to have that and put that on my Facebook video and be like, oh, when I was 19 or something, 18.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, just screaming at people in the street. Do outside journalism.
Yeah. Find
out the real truth.
Just talking to people at Greg's.
Yeah. Just turn up, like no research, no nothing. Just like mad cow disease. Well, let's go to a cow farm. Where is everyone? Well, they're asleep. Oh, okay. Well, let's ask the cows. You know, it would just be a train wreck, but it could be funny. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think that could work. Just kind of pulling people in.
Pulling teeth home service.
Necessarily
weird.
Want to be involved.
Yeah.
In a surprise podcast.
Yeah, you'd have to get like signed disclosures.
You're in public. I was on the news once. And we went to the Christmas markets in Birmingham, and there was a reporter there with a camera, and they collared me, and I was drunk, and they started asking me questions about the mortgage crisis.
Oh my god!
And I can't really remember what I said.
Yeah.
I left it thinking they're not going to be able to air that.
Yeah.
But then someone I knew said, "Oh, I saw you on the news the other night," so I guess they did anyway.
Well, I was when I was at uni, I did some kind of acting bits here and there. We did a show in the Czech Republic, and the play that I was doing referenced, and it was at a drama festival, and the play referenced the drama festival, and the university or whatever, or whoever was organising it, thought we were addressing them specifically. So they got a news team to interview me and the woman I did the scene with. And I didn't understand what was going on, so I just ended up telling them the story about Power Rangers. Like, it's teamwork, isn't it? Power Rangers. You start off small, sometimes you get big. And there's a guy with no skin. And and it was nonsense, and I could tell I've just been like, this is nowhere. They're gonna, like, if they don't understand what I'm saying right now, they'll give it to someone, they'll be like, this guy's a moron. So I was like, all right, bye.
Closed captions, guys, like, no skin.
Yeah. It was Power Rangers was a thing, wasn't it? There's a big face.
Zordon.
Zordon the face.
Face in a tube.
Yeah. Was he from... Well, this is a whole other Buffy thing again, isn't it? Where it's just like, what was going on?
Is there a podcast on the Power Rangers?
I don't know, there might be. If there is, I'm finding out. If there's... He was a face.
He was a face in a tube called Zordon, and then he had this little robot guy.
Yeah.
I can't remember what
he was like
called.
Zippy.
Was he called like I or... No, was that something that he said?
Something. Yeah, ay or something, I think he said.
Yeah.
I think he said.
Oh, I think he said that.
And then, but his face in a tube, is he from another planet? Talking to these kids?
Yes, yeah.
You kind of think that might be it.
I think he's some kind of interstellar entity.
Face.
He's like God in a tube.
Christians.
Sort of. Yeah. The thing I found weird about Power Rangers that no one ever seems to bring up is that the Black Ranger was black, and no one ever found that weird.
This is a bit weird.
Well, it just seems a bit literal. I mean, I suppose the White Ranger was white, but all the other Rangers were white as well, so that doesn't really stand out as significant.
Yellow Ranger was Asian, I think.
Yeah.
Red Ranger was Ranger was like Native American. I don't think so.
I don't,
he was just some guy.
No. He went to... I think he was on trial for murder at some point.
Yeah, he killed someone with a sword.
Samurai sword.
Yeah.
But it was in self-defense, I think. Yeah. And then the Green Ranger / White Ranger, depending on which generation you watched, was became an MMA fighter.
Could do this, it could be massive.
Yeah. Fucking Zordon comes in.
Big face and cool.
Yeah. Hit it with the right.
There's some. I mean, it's a culture that I think just weren't plugged into. But I've seen so many things, I think, in the last week that have been like referencing high school as being incredibly character creating in terms of whether or not you were the prom queen or the captain of the football team.
Yeah.
Or there's no like he was in the jazz. Well, I guess there is, but that's derogatory, isn't it? It's like he did really good in woodwork.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck that guy. We don't have time for that guy. But no, only if you're the captain of the football team.
Yeah.
So if you don't hit people and people try and hit you, you're a hero.
But there is quite a common thing of that kind of popular person having so much to live up to when they leave that they end up just being like regular people, like everyone else does, but because they've been brought up to a point socially where they think that they're worth more than that, it drives them fucking nuts, and they go on a proper like downfall. Yeah.
I think there's just this whole thing about celebration that I just don't think we really have.
Yeah.
At least not in my experience of like, oh yeah, you went to school, good, now go to work.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh yeah, were you the like fucking journalists in like the Marvel universe, like on the DC universe? They're like, oh my god, I got to get the story. They're like, I just need a job. I'd like to go traveling. I'll be a journalist.
Yeah.
go over here.
But then it's the same as all other aspects of like teen culture. Everything that happens to you is the biggest thing that's ever happened to you because it's the only thing that's ever happened to you.
Yeah.
And even if you watch fucking teen movies, it's like, oh, there's so much drama involved, and when you actually break it down, it's like, well, I like Brad and Brad doesn't like me, and
I just wanted to be Predator.
Yeah.
That was my thing growing up. I was like, Predator rules.
That's more interesting.
He's invisible. He rips off people's heads. That seems like a good guy.
Yeah. This is more me.
Yeah. I like, people
get behind this guy's ambition.
Yeah, travel the world, killing things.
Yeah, this is my B-side.
Intergalactic serial killer. Yeah, okay. That's a good journalist.
Yeah. Didn't he? Yeah. But he had morals, didn't he? He didn't kill
pregnant women.
People.
Yeah, unarmed people, pregnant people.
Yeah.
Didn't kill them. Didn't kill kids.
Yeah.
In fact, he just recorded them asking him for candy so he could use it to confuse adults. Want some candy? And then, like, he'd go up to Danny Glover and be like, want some candy? And he'd be like, what the fuck? That's Predator 2 in a nutshell.
I never saw the second one.
That's pretty good. People hate on it, but
yeah,
it's funny.
Yeah, but people
good.
I still hear people shit on Wayne's World 2, and I'm just like, I don't care. Wayne's World 2 is amazing.
Yeah, amazing. Nobody's yelling on church windows.
Yeah,
it's great.
Cassandra! Sorry, wrong wedding.
But I think we've got a kind of a cult comedy, action, filmy, kind of mindset anyway.
Yeah,
like most of whenever we do something sociable, it ends up getting earlier and earlier in the morning, and we just start quoting more and more films.
Yeah,
and that's just kind of
what it is.
And
then was like, we're the only ones awake.
Yeah, we're just.
Why don't we just put one of these films on?
We're slowly reenacting Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Yeah, by the end of an hour, you've quoted so much of it that you may as well have just watched it.
Yeah, so I don't think there's a category for that at high school.
No,
it's like that's what made you.
No,
it's like I just watched films. But anyway,
yeah,
newsy stuff. I think we've covered this before. I think because it rings too many bells. But it was dated like this month, so the parents of a dead West Point cadet.
Straight away.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Parents of a dead West Point cadet retrieved his sperm. Oh.
Okay.
Does this ring bell? But they're doing it to try and, he is dead, but they still want grandkids. So get his sperm.
So go and find
They did it through like legal means. So they wanted to get like a judge, get his sperm.
Right, so it's in a sperm bank.
No, it's in him. Well, you make a good point. That could make sense, but I'm so confident that it's not.
And it's funnier if it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'll read through it, but I am so very sure that they just want his. It's definitely they want to get it out of his corpse. Have we covered this before?
I don't think so.
I swear I remember.
But the fact that we might have covered something like it kind of goes a long way to proving how fucked everything is.
Well,
which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, West Point, New York. The parents of a 21-year-old West Point cadet fatally injured in a skiing accident raced against the clock to get a judge's permission to retrieve his sperm for the possibility of preserving some piece of our child that might live on. I understand it. I do get it. Is it a race against the clock? I mean... It's a race against the clock. So, yeah, it seemed intense.
Very.
Yeah. So, for the listeners, Steve, what did we just witness?
Oh, sorry, I was meant to...
Yeah.
We had discussed this,
yes,
and then I was just so taken aback
by the sudden dramatic music.
Yeah.
It's basically like an MRI machine, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then it's a race against the clock.
Yeah.
I think the next one was decomposition is nature's cock block.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I completely fucked that up now.
That's all right, it's fine. And then it was a doctor with crossed arms looking quite intense.
Very intense. He's still looking at me.
Yeah, and it was something. I can't read it because we haven't got we don't have the technology. But yeah, we'll make sure that we get your dead son's semen so that you can be responsible grandparents.
Yeah. If nothing else,
well-adjusted grandparents.
If you're interested, it's on our YouTube channel.
As much as Steve was like, to me privately, about highlight clips, he was like, don't use that one. I think now we can be like, yeah, well, you didn't read it, did you? So now you can definitely have that one. Just to be like, yeah. But yeah, it's a race against the clock. Yeah. There's more to it. I just like that there was how intense and dramatic the article begins. Quick, we need to wank our dead son. Okay, why? That afternoon, I'm assuming of the skiing accident, or when he was pronounced dead, our entire world collapsed around us. But they saw a brief window to fulfill at least part of Peter's oft-stated desire to one day raise 5 children. We need 5 loads worth. And they're trying to realise his dream of being a father. So they're going to weekend at Bernie's him for 18 years to try and get him to have a family of 5 children.
Well,
after death.
We learnt a few weeks ago that corpses or dead people can orgasm as long as you keep their organs alive.
This is true.
So they could just take his body and get a life support thing on hookup at home, and he could have many kids, and then they could be like, "Hey, here's your dad."
That's his dream,
and there he is.
Yeah, brain dead people can still. The organs thing was just for pleasure, wasn't it? But you can probably just get a needle and create, suck out whatever you need.
Yeah.
The parents asked a state court judge Friday for permission to retrieve his sperm before his organs were removed for donation later that day. They argued the procedure needed to be done now.
Fucking weird.
It's grief-stricken people. I understand.
Sending a message round if you're selling something. Be like, does anyone want this before I get rid of it? We'd like the sperm, please, before you...
We are desperate to have a small piece of Peter that might live on and continue to spread the joy and happiness that Peter brought to all of our lives. Was their final state court.
Just get any baby and tell them it's his. It's not like they'll fucking know.
Well, it's just, I can understand, but I think of different cultures, maybe these people are very more the bloodline, because they go like, the bloodline must go on.
Yeah. And
it's like, yeah, but you can still have kids, can't you?
Yeah, we want to get IVF on behalf of our dead son.
Yeah. Or maybe they go more organic with it and just being like, someone who wants a baby
and
right
is
now,
a necrophiliac.
Yeah, and is happy to have sex with a rigor mortis kid. Go do it. Yeah, 21, whatever it was. The first documented post-mortem sperm removal was in 1980. And the first baby conceived using the procedure was born in 1999. I hope they were different samples.
When was the first one?
Well, 1980. Was when they first took the sperm out, I guess, to try this, and then the first baby born was in 1999. Where's your dad?
Out looking like a pet shop boy. Where are you from?
My dad died 18 years before I was born.
Yeah. Is disco still in? How can you talk?
Usually, the request comes in from a spouse.
Yeah.
Sounds reasonable, doesn't it? Yeah, not parents in this case, and not friends.
Yeah. No.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine. Parents told the court that he's the only male child of the Zhu family, and that if they don't obtain the genetic material, it'll be impossible to carry on our family's lineage, and our family name will die. So there's some kind of cultural thing.
That seems more dramatic.
Are you bothered about...
If we don't get our dead son's sperm, our whole family will die.
Be written out of the history books. Well, are you bothered about bloodline, name, your surname?
No.
You could change your name and you'd be fine.
Well,
there's a weird attachment to it, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know that I don't know that I'd change it. But for example, Vix hasn't changed her name since we've been married, and I don't care.
She's adopted it, I believe. Is that right?
Well, I think she's it's
like middle named your surname. She
sort of shoved it on Facebook or anything, but not on anything official. And
yeah,
I
not
really
real.
don't
not
care.
Business cards.
Like it's not. It's not.
Yeah, but your name.
The thing is, people take the way you view your name as a kind of a disrespect to your family if you don't respect treat it with respect or whatever. But I don't think my family are the kind of people that care, because they raised me and I don't care.
Well, I'd like to have that kind of intense environment when I have kids, where it's like the family meeting, like was
you went
Peaky Blinders
there. The family meeting.
But just like, this is family talk, only for family.
Yeah.
And it's about something. I don't know. I haven't figured that part out yet. But yeah, there's a weird drive to, I mean, I'm riddled with so much.
I like the clan thing. Yeah. I like the kind of like the having a, like, this is our group, like that little thing. But only as a family. Like, not as a tribe.
I did have a realization. I mean, children inevitably are a likelihood for you at some point, and I'll likely still be alive. And I don't think you're ready for me to have a friendship with your kid. Yeah, I had weird little things in my head. I was like, that's going to be a weird moment in time.
Yeah.
Where, like, Steve's like, are you friends with my kid? or do you hate my kid? I only talk to the kid. It's family talk. Go away.
Bye, son.
Yeah. But family always extends to close family. Not family.
It's like godparents, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, I don't believe in God, but if we had a kid, you'd probably be the godfather.
Oh yeah,
because I think that's
you
quite
liked
a
it
cool
or not.
title.
Well, it's just the thing of, I think it's that, for me, it's always been, because I've got godparents, but it's all just like, if something happens to you, then they are the guardian, and therefore they have to be aware of it and all that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, I'd just do that. I'd take your child from you when you died anyway. So
Mine.
Might as well.
Vix is still alive. Mine.
Doing a podcast with a baby. But yeah,
this guy killed himself. What do you think?
Would you wank off that cork?
So we've had a report that podcasting obscenities with a baby.
He doesn't understand. She doesn't understand. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a medical marvel, but I shouldn't be. I think it's a lot of the time. I just keep on waking up covered in cuts and other people's blood. I just don't know why. It's just, I wake up with loads of paper cuts on my hands this morning.
Yeah.
What did I do? I don't know. Wake up with weird diseases. My appendix explodes and my tooth just breaks. It's just random stuff. It's just like, what's going on? No, it makes no sense. So I kind of go like, I don't know whether I want to burden another being with my version of existence. But like, so like, there's a part of me that, it makes more sense just to have a new bloodline. But there's a weird connection to wanting to preserve it for some reason.
You mean name-wise or like adoption?
Like adoption-wise.
Yeah.
In that case, the more extreme version of adoption.
Yeah.
But then I've got a load of twisted family history that I'm not proud of. There's nothing to do... Well, I'm not the... Well... It's complicated.
You're on record.
It's not my fault. So it's I'm not essentially massively proud of my name. It's not like it goes back generations and these loads of people who had my name are incredible. There's some really good people in my family, but it's not like it's not a huge draw. So be like, I don't have no qualm changing my name. But there's a weird lizard brain thing of just being like, no, I will. It's my bloodline because my personality's in my blood or something.
It's instinct.
Yeah, it's weird though.
It's biology.
I don't know if I'd wank off my son when he's dead though, just to continue that bloodline.
No. That's a different level of dedication.
The zoo might be a great family. You never know.
Yeah.
They got loads of big cat news.
The zoo.
It's a terrible joke.
Big cat news.
So, line up from corpse masturbation. A woman has drifted out to sea after posing for a photo on an ice throne. Just in Iceland, there's the big iceberg that looks like a chair.
Right.
She sat in it. Just drifted out to sea.
And no one thought to...
Oh, they did. Like, they saved her. It's a happy ending story. But just that moment of, I've made a mistake. As you see the world just depart from you. A tourist who posed for a photo on an ice in Iceland had to be rescued after she started drifting out to sea. Judith Strang, yes. See? It's a good... Keep that name.
Yeah.
Was travelling with her son.
Stiber.
Yeah.
Like,
she was travelling with her son, Rod. Rod Strang.
Yeah.
Yeah, works. It works. And a guide when she sat on a small chunk of ice shaped like a throne at, oh my god, Jökulsárlón Glacier Lagoon.
Iceland.
Yeah, in Iceland.
Right.
But a wave dislodged the flow from the shore and she floated into the Atlantic. The grandmother from Texas was rescued by a fellow American, Randy LeCount. Don't worry, Randy's coming. Ooh, Randy LeCount. I don't know whether to be more afraid. No. Like, is he gonna fuck me or what's going on? LeCount's on the case.
Von Iceberg.
Yeah. A boat captain from Florida who waded into the water and helped her down. So it wasn't like deep water if you can wade in it, I guess.
No. Cold,
you
though.
can walk through it. Yeah, cold. And if you drift out to sea, you are drifting out to sea. So be careful where you take photos. This one is... You got to admire it on a level, but you got to question it as well. Police in Slovenia have accused a woman of cutting off her own hand with a circular saw with the help of her family to make an insurance claim.
Okay.
To be like, give me millions of pounds because this circular saw cut off my hand. And they went through a couple of extra loops for it.
Here you go. Well done.
Use it for mental health first.
Yeah.
She's 21 years old, and a relative.
21.
Yeah,
Jesus, that's a weird age to be desperate.
Weird age to amputate yourself.
Oh, I won't need this for the next 60 years.
I haven't needed it for 21 years. I'm right-handed.
Yeah, I've got my mum to wank me off.
Yeah, when I'm dead. And a relative of theirs has been detained and face up to 8 years in prison if convicted. I cut off my own hand, and all I got was 8 years in prison. They're trying to get injury insurance. She apparently stood to gain about £340,000. Is that worth a hand? I know it's a lot of money, but because family helped, you're probably only going to get a percentage of that.
Yeah. Well, robotics are pretty good these days.
Yeah.
But, it probably costs about 300 grand for the hand.
Well,
so
how long
you're
will it
really
last?
only gaining 40.
Yeah. But if you think, say you're on 20 grand, that's what? What's maths? 15 years that would last you?
Yeah.
So 36 of not working at a job that pays £20,000 a year.
But it wouldn't be because she doesn't know anything about money and she's 20.
She doesn't know anything about hands.
She'd
responsibility.
She'd be broke in 3 years and then she'd cut off her other hand.
It just seems like there was the whole be like Kim Kardashian phase. I'm going to be a Snapchat celebrity and all that kind of stuff.
Kim Kardashian has 2 hands.
Yeah. Well, that's where she's failed.
Yeah.
She hasn't done it properly. 4 members of the family were initially detained earlier this year. 4 members of your family helped you plan your own amputation.
Yeah.
Not one of them was like, actually, no, maybe you should have your hand.
Was it to did she draw the short straw?
I imagine because she's younger, she'll get more money. I imagine if an old person did it, they get less money than a 21-year-old.
Yeah. So those
the
poor
whole
girls
situation.
from Alton Towers, I bet they're fucking loaded now, but they're not happy.
Police say the group... no, she didn't get it.
Oh.
No, yeah, she stood to gain that, but instead she's now facing up to 8 years in prison because people are saying that she's doing it fraudulently. Police say the group deliberately cut the woman's hand above the wrist at their home in the capital of Slovenia. I'm assuming relatives took her to hospital saying she'd injured herself while sawing branches. She's cutting a branch, cut off her hand.
Yeah.
And they left the hand at home intentionally so that doctors couldn't reattach it. Oh, that's a weird detail. Have you got the hand? No, leave it there. Why? Because then she'll be cured.
Yeah.
But the doctors were like, well, the authorities got the hand and brought it and then sewed it back on. So they were trying to make it...
Does it work? Does it still work?
Better than it not, I guess. They've at least tried it. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, the police is, well, we'll get the hand and then you'll be fine. Like, no, we want £340,000. Well, no, have a hand instead.
Yeah. See, you can use your hand again.
Yeah, just seems, I don't know, people got weird dreams.
Yeah.
Cut off my own hand, that'll make me everything better. If you're gonna die soon, maybe. But if you're 21 and you got an average life expectancy ahead of you, don't do that. Even if your auntie told you to.
Yeah, there's other ways to make money. Like, just get a job.
Amputating yourself.
Rich coming from me, but still, you could try.
Yeah. But they're different people, different horses for courses. Cut off your hands. This made me laugh. A Malaysia-bound plane had to turn back to Saudi Arabia after a passenger realised she'd forgotten her baby. Plane's in the air. Hang on. Where's my baby? Come on. Yeah, exactly. The pilot en route to Kuala Lumpur had made the unusual request to return to the airport in Jeddah shortly after takeoff when the passenger told cabin crew she'd forgotten her child.
Excuse me, don't want to trouble
you. You wouldn't mind.
Bong, bong.
Yeah. A video of the pilot calling into air traffic control, someone videoed it, like this is going to be funny. The pilot trying to call into air traffic control reveals the unusual exchange between him and the operators as he asks for permission to go back. He says, "May God be with us. Can we come back?" The scenario, when explained, seems a little bit strange to the air traffic controllers and leaves the operator confounded, and he can be heard conferring with others over the appropriate action. Well, she's lost her baby. I mean, is it here? I don't know. I mean, should they come back? It seems like a big problem.
We'll mail it. We'll mail it to you.
We'll put it in a briefcase.
Yeah, we send the dogs. We can send a baby.
Yeah, you're fine. The flight is requesting to come back, he tells another colleague. A passenger forgot her baby in the waiting area. The pilot can be heard repeating to the air traffic operator, "I told you, a passenger has left her baby in the terminal and she is refusing to continue the flight." Number one, it's not a big threat if a passenger is refusing to continue flying. Yeah. Okay. What now?
There's the door.
Yeah, I mean, we're the ones flying. You're flying fuck all. Yeah, so, I mean, again, not judgmental. People do forget babies. You know, it's one of those things where you're a certain headspace, but it's like, it's your duty to not do that, right?
Yeah.
As a mother, you got some kind of duty.
Yeah. Like phone, wallet, handbag, passport,
bloodline.
Billy.
Yeah. Although in 2013, an American Airlines flight from LA to New York diverted to Kansas City because of a very unruly passenger who refused to stop singing Whitney Houston's "I Will Always Love You." Land the plane! I hate this song. Yeah, might as well.
She's dead. Get over it.
And I, for God's sake. Just a real quick ad break.
We've all got baggage. Some people just have too much for carry on. With so many deals in our duty free, you'll forget what true. Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, never mind.
Pulling teeth baby. For all the babies on the carousel of loneliness.
It's a little advert for it. Not hugely funny, just like the idea of that being a thing for an airport.
Yeah.
Don't worry, your baby's on the carousel. Have you heard about Donald Trump?
Have I?
Well, he's doing... He made a tweet and people have kind of reacted to it. Let me just see if this is...
Is this, again, still after 2 years?
But this is something I don't understand.
Still going on?
But it's not even like him. It's just a weird thing that he's rubber stamped.
Right.
He wants to delete daylight savings time.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that do.
Well, he's not the first.
No, well, they've been
There's
on
a
about
couple
it.
of places that
been
don't
on about
have
doing
it.
it in Europe for years, and they're on about. I think they've just abolished it in California or something like that.
Well, I think Arizona's never had it, and neither has Hawaii.
Yeah,
but
you don't need it anymore.
Do you not?
No, it was to keep in line with old farming techniques that required the light.
Yeah, but it
now
also
we're more efficient than we used to be.
But it does result in you getting more light, doesn't it?
No, because the extra light comes first thing in the morning when you're still asleep.
That's when the time go back, isn't it?
Yeah.
Spring goes forward.
Daylight.
Spring is summer, where there's more daylight.
Yeah.
And then fall is back because there's less daylight. They want you to wake up earlier.
Gives you more in the morning.
More light. Yeah.
Yeah.
So more light.
I don't know.
That's the thing. I was like, I thought you gained an hour of light. I think that was the point of it.
Yeah, but then eventually the sun's fucking still
exploding.
Like it's still the sun's still rising at like 8 o'clock in the morning, at its worst.
But if the average person is up, driving to work in the pitch blackness at 7 in the morning, if they were driving in light, it'd be better for the mental health or something.
Maybe
I thought that's what I thought. It seems fine, but there's people.
I don't really see an issue with abolishing it.
It might just be the name of the act, which is the Sunshine Protection Act, that they're trying to enforce. Like, don't try and protect the sunshine.
I want to abolish sunshine.
Exactly. It's kind of root on the market for too long. I don't understand it, but why not? But yeah, I got no problem with it, but then my body clock is always shifting. I don't know how weird it is for people who are like, I always wake up at 7 and I always go to bed at 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Maybe it disrupts them.
I got one of those clocks that wakes you up with light. It really makes no difference to me whether it's light outside or not.
Just give people that lamp instead of daylight savings time.
Put a timer on your lamp.
No, but then it'll be like, surprise! Sunshine Protection Act. But loads of supporters of the bill claim daylight savings time can lead to several benefits. Hang on. Supporters of the bill.
The sun on benefits.
Supporters of the bill of the Sunshine Protection Act claim that they're claiming that daylight savings time is always have the clocks an hour forward, I think is what they're saying.
Right.
Not backwards, forward. Because forward's
so
better.
just keep winding them forward. every year we lose an hour.
We won't be 0-0. We won't be +0. We'll always be +1, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is what they're claiming. They're saying that extra hour permanently can help the economy in the country, including reducing the number of car crashes. Yeah, I guess. More light.
No.
But no, not if... not in winter.
Wind it back. The reason there's so many car crashes is because everyone thinks they're an hour late.
yeah, give them more time to relax. Less robberies, because there's more light.
Less robberies?
There's still the same amount of hours
Less
of
people
night.
will steal if they can't figure out what time it is.
Childhood obesity. Is it dinner time? No. So let's not
eat. If it was 2 o'clock, I wouldn't be fat.
And energy usage. It's because nobody will want to continue living. Don't leave the house. It's daylight protection outside. Or whatever it is. Okay, that's the light. That's the beginning of the light and fluffy. And then let's just go straight into putting half a foot, maybe half of you into the water. A mother killed her 11-year-old daughter, Maggie.
Maggie?
Is that what you said? I thought that's what you said.
A mother.
A mother? A mother killed their 11-year-old daughter. Probably Maggie. She killed her 11-year-old daughter to stop her from having sex. Well done.
Well, it worked.
Well, I mean, she's been accused of stabbing her 11-year-old daughter, so to prevent penetration, she introduced penetration. Just in a different way. She stabbed her multiple times to prevent her from having sex. Ross Alcides Rivera arrived at an Orlando hospital seeking help for her daughter. Help! I've stabbed my daughter! But that she had already died from multiple stab wounds. The 28-year-old pulled a knife on hospital workers. Are you going to have sex? Oh, God. And added, she told police that she'd killed her daughter to prevent her from having sex with men. But then she goes on to say something else. She's been charged with first-degree murder. Officials said that the murder was sparked by the belief that the child was having sex with the mother's boyfriend. You having sex with my boyfriend?
Oh.
And so she's just crazy lady.
The child?
Yeah, the 11-year-old.
Oh,
who she was,
so this woman's just a psychopath.
She's just insane.
Yeah.
But there's so many of them around. There's so many crazy people.
Yeah.
That you go like, it's not just like, oh, she was misinformed. It's like, no, she's just a crazy person who was married and had a kid and then got a boyfriend and then killed her daughter. Because she's fucking crazy.
Some people want their dead kids to have sex. Some people want their living kids to not have sex. So they kill them.
I knew there was a link somewhere. I was like, why have I put this in? The mother took her daughter to a home, and accused the boyfriend of having sex with the child. While the child denied the charge, the mother said she thought she was having sex because she smiled different. Crazy.
Yeah.
Just crazy. Just a crazy person. Are you smiling? Yeah. Well, I'm going to stab you then because you're having sex.
Yeah.
Well, that makes me
That's
sad.
not your normal smile.
That's your sex. That's your 11-year-old sex smile. Stabby, stabby, stabby. Go Merry Christmas.
Get in the attic.
Yeah. Okay. Another quick new segment. New segment.
All right.
Very quick.
Quick fire segment.
It's quick. A man tried to sue a magazine for using his picture in an article about hipsters all looking alike. Then he realised it wasn't him.
Do that again. That was too quick.
Take two.
A
man tried to sue a magazine for using his picture.
Oh,
in
the
an
hipster
article
guy.
About hipsters.
Yes.
Turns out it wasn't him.
I was focusing on the video. This is too fast for me.
It's too quick. The shotgun blast threw me off. That's all that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fucking brilliant and just completely proves the point.
Yeah. I'm going to sue you. Why? Because I'm not in the... Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. No, the article was about how all hipsters look the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was suing them for his image. Like, it's not you, mate.
Yeah.
You're a twat. Another quickfire news. The world's #1 bridge player has been banned after failing a drugs test.
Bridge.
And for those who don't know, it's a game where you play cards sat down. That's all I know about it. There's some teamwork involved.
Performance-enhancing drugs.
Testosterone.
Just fucking hurling cards.
Norwegian Geir Helgemo was handed a 1-year ban after testing positive for synthetic testosterone and a female fertility drug. He will not be able to compete in events until 2020.
See, this kind of shit is stupid.
He's been stripped of titles.
Have they? So I know, like they draw a hard line as soon as you consider bridge a sport, which I don't think it is, because I think that's fucking stupid.
The World Bridge Federation. Is recognised by the International Olympic Committee.
Yeah,
and
must
as
soon
follow
as you do
World
that,
Anti-Doping Agency rules.
Yeah, you have all that fucking stupid bureaucracy pulled into it.
Olympic card playing is an Olympic sport.
Yeah,
it's weird. I agree with it. Hey, it's a sport.
Yeah.
If curling's a sport, I'm sure darts is a sport. And if darts is a sport...
they consider darts a sport. You're not allowed to drink and play darts anymore, like on TV. It used to be a big part of the culture to have a pint and play darts.
Yeah, and snooker as well.
Yeah, because everyone learns how to play darts in pubs.
And now, it's the Olympics.
Yeah.
That was quick fire news.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, seemed like a nice little place to kind of keep it a little bit quick and snappy. And all that kind of stuff.
Shotgun blast to the face. And Steve asking 3 times what the fuck is going on. This is quick.
This is very snappy. Working fine. But yeah, that's largely me this week.
Largely you.
Yeah, it's all me.
Right, so it's been 2 days.
Yeah.
And I've got too much to do, so all I've got is a scum.
Okay.
I assume you'll...
collection of useless meanderings. Scum.
Different clip to last week. Somewhat less offensive.
It's not as...
But still, like, an elderly man in an office berating a woman, and then scum showing up across her face.
I thought, oh, you've read into it a different way. I thought it was like he's telling her that, you know, all of her family have now died.
Yeah.
Because she, like, turns around and cries. But yeah, he could certainly be. This
it
could
looked
be
like
like
he was disciplining her.
Thing.
Scum.
Right. So yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After Usain Bolt broke the 100-meter world record at the 2009 Berlin World Championships, the mayor of Berlin awarded him a 12-foot-long, 6,000-pound piece of the Berlin Wall.
Have a wall. You run fast. Fast man have wall.
It's like all these years, they're just finding excuses to get rid of it. Because they can't be asked to get the demolition
Like
teams
the Great Escape, that tries to sneak it out in their trousers.
Sneak it out with Usain Bolt. Yeah. He's fast. He'll just get him back. He'll win another. Give him another bit.
Do you think that's what he dreamed of? I'd love to win a bit of a wall.
A bit of a wall. A 12-foot long bit of a wall.
And to be fair, like, is it Dave?
It's a cunt trick, man. He's got to get that back on the plane.
Have you brought any fruits or vegetables? I brought a wall.
I brought the Berlin Wall.
Yeah, we'll take it to Mexico and sort that whole thing out. No, I just want to go home.
They're donating it.
But yeah, this seems, I mean, but David Hasselhoff kind of stole the whole limelight about the Berlin Wall, didn't he? He's like the celebrity attached to the Berlin Wall coming down.
He's Mr. Germany for some fucking reason. Like everybody, he's massive in Germany still.
Well, I think he was stood on the wall when it came down. He was like, I think that's what was happening.
What, like with a German flag or
something like that. He was like talking to both sides of Germany and being like, I'm in Baywatch. And then they kind of knocked the thing down. Yeah. So I guess, I'd prefer it for it to be Usain Bolt, especially if he's got a bit of it. Mind you, David Hasselhoff probably has got a little bit of it.
Probably. Yeah, definitely.
He'll have steal a little bit of it, I think.
I'm sure he'll have a 6,000-pound chunk of it. But
hang on,
David Hasselhoff could have his...
You were talking about weight?
Yes.
Not like value?
No.
A 6,000-pound rock.
Yeah. Here you go. Oh, you won a medal.
How much does that weigh?
Yeah. It's just bitterness because they beat the Germans.
Just 6,000 pounds.
Yeah.
220 pounds is 100 kilos. So you're talking like 3,000 kilograms.
Maths I can't do.
3,000 kilograms. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Not even like I thought it was like a little bit, but souvenir. Yeah. No, you will take the southwest section of the German All right. Congratulations.
Yeah. The Rock was the second person on Earth to publicly report the news that Osama bin Laden was dead.
Well, he's got an advantage. He can smell.
But like
second person.
It was marine intel and then the rock and then the world.
Oh, what a hero. What a hero.
If I but that's the kind of news that you want from The Rock.
It's a weird, it's a weird thing to be like I can imagine marine intelligence being like, well, we better text The Rock. He's gonna want to get on this. We're gonna release. I imagine he retweeted something, and I imagine that he retweeted what marine intelligence tweeted.
Yeah,
something like that. I don't think he was like, hey, by the way, I just found out Osama bin Laden's dead. It would have been like retweeting something, right? Probably.
Maybe.
Maybe he wasn't. Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah. No, I mean, I didn't say what the tweet is. I could probably look it up.
Yeah, it was probably something like that anyway. But yeah, the important thing is...
It was The Rock.
Yeah. Yeah, and then people understood.
Breaking news from Dwayne.
Yeah. Was it a big deal? What was more of a big deal? Well, I guess different for us.
It was...
Like, Saddam Hussein getting caught, I thought was better. It's more fun.
It's because it was still it was still pertinent. Like Osama bin Laden getting caught was like 10 years after the fact. It's almost like good for you, I guess.
And for that, in our intro, or one of our sound bites, we've got I can only get jobs where I can't see my face. That's Saddam Hussein, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if people didn't know.
Yeah. It was one of his lookalikes. One of his lookalikes trying to find a job in the new world.
Yeah, we had a very strong Saddam Hussein segment for a number of episodes, starting at episode 100.
But like officially,
that all the way through.
That one was within the first 10.
Yeah, but then we just added a bit more. He was a recurring
character. We haven't had Saddam for a while.
No, he's been quiet.
After 100, Saddam that was an all Saddam episode.
Yeah, that was a very heavy Saddam episode. But you got to give him some.
Come and go. Like maybe once a year.
He wants to get an IMDb, so give him some of these credits.
Still writing his movie reviews.
Oh yeah. Have you seen any films? Have you gone to the cinema recently?
No.
So, do you want to see Captain Marvel?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, it's controversial.
Is it?
As in, like, I think there's a lot of people hate it, people love it.
Right.
And the reason that people hate it is because of silly reasons, is the claim. I think, like, they were saying, like, you only hate it because you hate women, that kind of thing.
Oh, right, okay.
And then, obviously, because I think
I've
a lot
quite
of...
good reviews for it. And none of them have been particularly, like... You know, you can tell when something's being reviewed and being praised because it's, like, brave or whatever.
Yeah.
They weren't like that.
Well, like, I think there was a controversy because a lot of these reviews came out within a couple of hours of the film being released.
Yeah.
So they're kind of claiming that they wrote the reviews before the film finished. As in they were just trolling reviews.
Oh, right, okay.
So they deleted loads of reviews. I think it was like 50,000 reviews they deleted off of Rotten Tomatoes because they thought it was some kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd be interested. Yeah, I saw it and I was just very confused.
Yeah.
Not saying anything negative about it. I'm not a fan of the film, but I was just confused all the way through.
Yeah.
And I think it's just, I'd like to talk to someone who really liked it.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely want to, as an objective person, I'd like to know what was the cool bit.
We'll definitely see it. We see most of them, but like, I don't know, man. There's certain things like that where it's like you almost can't say anything against them because of the fucking backlash. Like
and that's definitely the feeling.
Didn't mind Black Panther, but I didn't think it was fucking amazing.
Yeah, I didn't.
Earth-shattering. Like, I didn't mind it,
yeah,
but I thought it was really fucking heavy-handed at some things. But God forbid you say anything, suddenly you fucking hate black people.
Well, the only thing that I've put it down to is I think that, I mean, take Captain Marvel as an example, because you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But I think if you were to go for it and see it as a film, I think you'd have one experience, and if you were going to see a Marvel film, you'd get a different experience because that's how it is. And I was just very confused. But I think I was confused because they were trying to tell the story in a way for a particular audience, and I imagine the audience is quite young or family orientated. There's just things where like this talking about before about what was that? There's a Netflix show, forgotten what it's called now, but about like aliens on a spaceship or something. And it just didn't make sense. It wasn't true. No, you wouldn't do that. You do this. I mean, there's a point where they're trying to find something. They find it, and then they have to hide, but they don't use the way that the thing hid to hide. You go, well, if you wanted to hide and you couldn't find it, that means you should just do that, right? And there's this bit where there's just loads of things that are just very much like, yep, cool, that's dealt with. We'll move on.
Yeah.
Like there's, I can't go into too many detail, but I was confused throughout the whole film, and I didn't enjoy it because of that. So I'd like to chat with people who really enjoyed it, because I hated Thor. Right, I am not a good balance of what's good. Yeah, well, I get very confused about a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
so
I liked Ragnarok. It was a kind of middle. It was a middle film that was just kind of tying bits together. But I enjoyed it.
But just that, right? Just because that's an argument that's been used a lot because I always look at it as just the film on its own. I think it's like when you look at it in like a series or something, aren't you? So I think there's lots of different perspectives that I'm just not applying that other people are like. I mean, if take an amazing actor, Arnold Schwarzenegger. if Arnie did a film about podcasts, it would be the best film in the world.
Yeah.
Don't care what happens in it. But if it was a terrible film, it would be even better.
Yeah.
Because my perspective on it is very different to the perspective of anybody else.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I just love Arnold Schwarzenegger, and if he did a podcast, it'd be hilarious. Get to the microphone. That's a terrible title for a podcast. Listening to back, and it's just him constantly reviewing classical music. I love it. Yes. Yeah. Sorry.
I love the swell of the strings in this one.
Yeah, he was deaf. Yeah. I'm just curious, genuinely curious. I'd like to talk because people are very passionate. I think because the argument is so emotional and intense, because people who don't like it are like hating on it. So people defending it are defending hate, which means like a strong reaction. So it'd be like, if they're so passionate, it's like, what was the part that you're like, yeah, this is great.
Well, that's just it. Like a lot of these films, like people tie them to ideologies. So suddenly, if you don't like it, it's because you're such and such, like you're a racist, or you don't appreciate women in lead roles and shit like that. Yeah. Like, and it's got nothing to do with whether the film's actually any fucking good. Like, it's So weird times. Weird times.
Strange.
The boycott was named after Charles Boycott, a man so hated that people wanted nothing to do with him.
Should we boycott it? Do you mean never see him and speak to him again?
Yeah. Oh. I'm writing that one down. All right, Oxford.
Yeah. He's just sat at dinner just with nobody around him. Being like, never mind.
It started as like a mean-spirited thing to say.
It became a revolution. Have you seen that in the UK?
What?
Boycotting stuff? Never seen people boycotting products. Like there's Michael Jackson at the moment is the thing, isn't it? Like people trying to boycott Michael Jackson. That whole
thing is so fucking weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a weird situation, but it's a weird thing to buy. I don't understand the relationship between product and a person. Yeah, like if you paint something, you can. The most horrific, most evil person in the world could paint a beautiful masterpiece. Yeah, that does not mean that you shouldn't look at it.
Yeah, no. Hitler's paintings would be worth millions if they were.
I only know of Hitler's paintings through It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and I don't know whether they used originals.
I've no idea.
Yeah.
What the fuck's his name? John Wayne Gacy. He used to paint clowns, and he was a horrific, like, child murder rapist guy, and like, shit. And his
the GoPro's angry. It loved Marvel.
I think that means it's died.
Maybe. The pros died. Yeah, so and his Gacy, and his work is like there's a market for stuff that's made by people who are like insane criminals. Charlie Manson as well. Yeah. Yeah, people like marry these people as well because they're psychopathic. Yeah. So why? Yeah, but it's never seen the. It gives it a different flavor. Like Michael Jackson's music videos could be seen differently if he's interacting with children. Yeah, and you get a different interpretation of it. That doesn't mean you should. I don't understand the boycotting thing, I guess.
But also that whole thing's fucking weird. Like there's no new evidence or anything came to light. You're listening to a bunch of people tell stories 10 years after the facts, let alone however long it's been since he's died. Yeah. It's a bunch of people who said one thing 10 years ago and are now saying something different now. So at some point they committed perjury, but no one's very clear exactly when. Either they were lying then or they're lying now, and either way, that's a felony. And it's produced. The whole thing was made by a guy that, like, a year ago, 2 years ago, something like that, had requested permission to make a film, to make a show about Michael Jackson for Cirque du Soleil. And the Jackson estate said, no, no, we're not going to grant you permission to do that.
All right, then.
So, yeah, exactly. The whole thing just fucking reeks, man.
But I think boycotting just itself is a bit weird. I don't know. I've just never... There's a belief that you're fighting the power in that boycotting thing. And I've never experienced that. I've just been like, no, just go away. Yeah. Like, we're going to change... It's that whole, we're going to stick it to the man. It's like, I might have done that indirectly through listening to heavy metal. Yeah. But never expected anything to change. Just been like, this is stupid. There's no point arguing with stupidity. So I'm going to go home. Have your own beliefs, have your own thoughts. But if you believe... It's the whole thing about politicians. If you believe that politicians are corrupt, why would you ever vote? Yeah. If they're all corrupt. It doesn't make any logical sense because you don't know what you believe. That's what that is. Yeah. You should still vote. Yeah. But you should also accept that some politicians aren't corrupt. if you want yourself to make sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, fight the power, but I guess also accept that they don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think, is it Black Friday? That was a Power Ranger.
That was a horse.
What the fuck? There's a reference in there, dotting around Lloyd's Bank, something going on. Yeah, like who blames people for the Black Friday deaths of like people trampled to? Do people die?
Yeah.
Yeah, being trampled to death and stuff like that for camping outside of a supermarket for 7 days.
People dying over a TV.
Yeah,
fucking weird.
Like whose fault is that? It's the people's, obviously. But you go,
it's like mob rule, isn't it? It's like you.
Where you fight? Where's the boycotting? Why don't you boycott killing people on Black Friday?
Yeah, because people don't like to be accountable for themselves.
Yeah, it's weird. But yeah,
they don't like the idea that they were somehow involved in that.
Especially like not buying someone's product.
Yeah,
like not buying a cheeseburger from McDonald's because fuck you. Like, all right.
Yeah, well,
that's your rebelling. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And obviously it works. I never understood it, never related to it, I guess.
It works if it's on a mass scale, but there's plenty of people that are like, I'm boycotting this, and then they go on Twitter and then nobody cares.
Yeah.
That shit happens every day. Like, I think companies have, like, some of them are like complete pussies and will cave at like fucking anything because marketing. But, like, I think a lot of them are kind of getting a bit more hardened to it now. They're just like, no, they're like, we know what we stand for, so
yeah,
we don't care.
There's enough people.
We are like, imagine if it was Coke. What are you going to do to Coke? Like, it's the biggest fucking company in the world. I'm boycotting Coke because it's brown and I don't like it, but it's brown.
But yeah, it's that whole. But yeah, and again, that's the whole thing about alcohol and caffeinated drinks and sugar. You go like, none of it is good for you.
Yeah.
Anyone will tell you it will lead you to an earlier grave. Yeah. But people want to sell it to kids like Sunny Delight. And it's like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Why? Just because it's fine.
Like, okay. Well, everybody eats Nestle and buys Nestle stuff, and yet they've been like,
at some point they were like, yeah, child labor.
Well, they still have a thing of buying wells in Africa. And selling the water back to the people who are now dying of thirst. Like it's just one of the things that they do, and nobody people. It's public knowledge, but nobody cares.
People forget.
But it's not. It's out of sight, out of mind. Like people only boycott something if it's affecting them on their front step.
Well, it's when people they get that thing to channel their anger through. They channel it for a bit. Then it dies down.
Yeah.
And then they don't care anymore.
Now it's too hard. It's like starting a new habit. Like, you'll do it for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you'll just die.
Most people's new habit is outrage and wanting to hate an idea.
Yeah, something that doesn't exist.
Yeah. Group. Yeah.
There's a neurological disorder called Alice in Wonderland syndrome. This affects patients' perception in a way that they may suddenly feel that they have become giants, or that the room around them has shrunk.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. I'm sorry, I've just taken up the whole room. Have you? Yeah, I'm huge now.
Just one guy over there in the corner.
He's massive.
Just starts challenging guys to fights.
I'm the size of a building. Okay. Can you punch me in the face?
For you.
Yeah.
It just takes him out. It's like, how did you do that?
I guess that makes sense, doesn't
it mostly affects children. Don't know why.
Perspective.
It'd be more funny if it just affected some bloke.
It mostly affects Craig. He's got a fear of getting on a train because either he'll fill up a carriage or fall down the gap. But it makes sense. A neurological condition, I think.
Yeah.
Like anxious or paranoid and fearful if you're small.
Yeah.
And then insecure if you're big.
Yeah.
You know, different emotional stuff kind of.
I have this weird thing of distances, and I've always had it since I was a kid, and I've talked to other people about it, and apparently they experience the same kind of thing. So if you're going to sleep at night, you have a perception of how the room is around you by what you can hear and things like that. Right. And if you close your eyes, you have an idea of where stuff is, but suddenly everything you know where it all is, but it suddenly feels much further away than it actually is. Even though you're not seeing it, you're not sensing it or anything like that. You just feel that everything's a lot further away than it is. And then you open your eyes and everything's fucking normal. And I've had that since I was a kid. Like, it just happens now and again. And it's usually when I'm lying in bed.
I had a weird thing where when I must have been like 12 or 11, and I think I still get it every now and then if I focus on it and think about it, is, Ace Ventura. When the second one, I forget. No, when nature calls.
Yeah.
Right, and there's that guy in the village who stood on top of a tall tower on the pole. Yeah. So
earthquake test.
But so I had this thing in my brain where if I was stood at the bottom of it and I think about it in my mind's eye, I'm stood at the bottom of the pole and I look up, I get a weird perception thing.
Yeah.
In my mind's eye, for some reason, there's leaves on the ground. Right, and there's just someone on top of it, and that perception kind of, I get like that feeling of inertia.
Yeah, that's
right?
What it is.
And I think, because when I have a thought, I love to think about it all the way through. And I think it's because when I was a baby, I flew in planes a lot, and I was kept in a shoebox, and I was kept underneath.
Were you ever left at the airport?
Yeah. But I was kept in a shoebox that the airline provided. This is before everyone kept taking off their shoes. And slid under the seat in front.
Yeah.
So, like, I reckon that perspective thing is from being, like, months old or whatever.
I'm a shoe.
Yeah. No, just and looking up and, like, seeing my mother's up there. And that similar angle of, like, looking up and then looking in my mind's eye is actually time traveling to me and a baby. That's the only thing I can think of it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the weird thing, is that kind of perspective shift. Because it's always a look up motion.
Yeah.
That's in that image for whatever reason.
Right. Okay, I see what you mean.
That's the only situation, because I've always been 6'4".
Yeah.
So like, I've never looked up at people.
Yeah.
I don't have many memories of that. I think the only thing I can think of is, there's some vague memory in my mind or imagination in my mind.
Yeah.
That I remember that happening. Oh, and maybe that's the thing.
My thing
I was
is
on
always...
a plane freaking out.
Yeah.
No seatbelt, just sliding around.
My thing is always across the room, but it's never the distance from myself to the ceiling. So maybe it's a similar thing, but horizontal rather than vertical.
Were you ever in a shoebox on a train? Ferris wheel? Shoebox is the key ingredient. That must make everything. That's the root of all evil.
Gotta be a shoe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Finally, last one. Despite rigorously training the dogs that went into space, when Soviet scientists had one escape days before a flight, they just shoved a stray in and sent him instead.
Nobody will care.
His flight was the only one that was successful.
We've lost Fido. Any dog nearby want to go space? I'll go space.
Russian dogs, they've just got grit, man.
Grip.
Grit.
Oh,
grit.
Holding on to the edge of the space.
We are only dogs with fingers. You're a weird fucking dog.
This is a strange country.
Yeah. It's just such a Russian attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair play.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thinking about trying to do other stuff, play around with other ideas of promotion and trying to do more creative stuff. Just feels like there's a bit more of a drive at the back of my head to do a little bit more things. So I think it could be cool and try and do it in a similar way.
Try some things out.
Yeah, it could be fun. So hopefully
by all means,
sometime soon.
Get in touch and reviews and shit.
Yeah, reviews, nonsensical, insulting, horrific reviews.
Yeah,
but with 5 stars.
Yeah,
would be greatly appreciated.
Not one. As I previously suggested.
Yeah, so all still fun. So I'm at Nick Snip.
I'm at Sing It Steve.
We're at We're
at Pulling Teeth Pod.
Yes, and we're wisdom at pullingteethpodcast.com.
That's the one.
Facebook page. And obviously YouTube if you're watching. But check out the YouTube stuff. We're having fun with it.
Yeah.
Too much fun sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
It's all right. It'll be fun. All right. Yeah. See you next week.
Cool. Yeah. Nice. I'm responsible for the outro.
Yeah.
Just clicked. I was staring at a blank screen. I was like, something usually happens now.
And fade out.